What is the funniest insult you have ever heard? If she had one more neuron, it'd be very lonely. A kid at my school said he thought he had an STD. The teacher walked by and said you can't get an STD from your own hand. I was dying for a good 15 minutes. I'm still a fan of There Like a Slinky, not really useful for anything, but fun to push down a flight of stairs. Accidentally spilled my 5-year-old cousin's chocolate milk. He looked me dead in the eye and called me a cold chicken nugget. I've never felt so offended. You look like you lick hospital chairs. Heard this one on here a while ago. If you were any more inbred you'd be a sandwich. There's an Italian insult: the streets are paved with cocks and your mother walks on her Another Italian insult I love: your brain is just there to hold your ears apart. Trying to explain shit to you is like trying to staple Jell-O to a tree. Veep has a lot of great ones, but the one that makes me cry every time is, Jonah, you're not even a man, you're like an early draft of a man, where they just sketched out a giant, mangled skeleton, but they didn't have time to add details, like pigment or self-respect. Your family tree must be a cactus because everybody on it is a prick. I would say obesity runs in your family, but I highly doubt anyone runs in your family. You're like the first piece of bread. Everyone touches you, but nobody wants you. Your mother buys you Mega Blocks instead of Legos. My friend had a pretty insane mom that would flip out over random things. One time she was screaming at him and called him a son of a bitch, then in the most badass voice he responded with, "You got that right." God wasted a really good asshole when he put teeth in your mouth. I use it every time I get the opportunity now. You dense cabbage. Yeah, that was directed to me. How'd you piss off Gordon Ramsay? The Hungarian word for retard and my Hungarian name sounds alike, so they say my name when they want to call me a retard. I'm no expert on Hungarian linguistics, but that sounds like a dick move by your parents. It's like having a small child and naming him Wee Todd. I'm a construction worker. While on a job site, overheard this duel. Two other tradesmen having a serious argument. You keep it up and I'm going to marry into your family just to make you buy me Christmas presents. My brother shut down a bully by saying a line he actually heard on an old TV show. I've heard snappier comebacks from a bowl of Rice Krispies. Still has to be penis breath from E.T. The first time I heard that, I shot Coca-Cola out my nose because it was so unexpected. I think the beauty of it is, even if the insult was directed at a gay person, the implication that they don't brush their teeth still makes for a solid jab. I was waddling down the street downtown Colorado Springs, 8 months pregnant. I walked by a middle-aged woman with too much plastic surgery. She made a snide comment, "Aren't you a little young to be sexually active?" I was stunned, speechless, smiled from ear to ear and told her that was one of the nicest compliments I'd ever received. I was 33 when I had my son. I'm short with a baby face. In high school I had a teacher who, in her early 30s, could easily pass as a high schooler. She often got mistakenly called out by other teachers with a "shouldn't you be in class?" While she walks through hallways during class hours, she always smiles back as they realize their mistake. I got called a dish rag once by a child. Once this kid and my math teacher got into an argument. The kid rolled his eyes and the teacher said, "Keep rolling your eyes. You ain't gonna nothing back there." The entire class went silent for a few seconds before bursting into laughter. You sure do talk a lot for never really saying anything. My personal favorite. You've been talking to me this whole time. Pretty much every line on the thick of it. If you're into creative insults, I would highly recommend it. A personal highlight: he's so dense that light bends around him. 80-year-old grandma at Little League when her grandson at bat didn't swing and the umpire called the pitch a strike. Umpire, you must have lost your spectacles. A Scottish guy once told my very pale friend, "You look like the kinda that gets sunburnt under a full moon. You look like a pregnant pretzel trying to avoid a rattlesnake." My high school gym teacher to a fellow student incorrectly lifting weights. The guy lifting weights looked really awkward, so it fit perfectly. Everyone in the gym laughed. Good times. I have neither the time nor the crayons to explain this any better to you. Your brain is as useful as Helen Keller's drum set. The guy he was insulting didn't get it, so it just proved him right. I know 5 fat people and you're 3 of them. If I wanted to kill myself, I'd jump from your ego all the way down to your IQ. You are 2 letters short of an asset. You couldn't pour water out of a boot if the instructions were on the heel. I've been called a lot worse by a lot better. The only culture you possess is bacteria. You wouldn't know the difference between a headache and an idea. I hope your day is as pleasant as you are. If you were sentenced to death for being intelligent, you'd die innocent, or if brains were dynamite, you wouldn't have enough to blow your nose. It's maybe not really funny, but till today I wonder if it's an insult or something positive. I was playing Xbox like 10 years ago and some kid that I've played against sent me "Jabba, you're a dog king." I don't know if he complimented me or is just very bad at insulting. What do you think? I don't like to associate with people who have an IQ lower than the temperature. That's especially savage outside the US. At college there was a guy in our year who was very short and somewhat overweight. Really nice guy. Very funny. Everyone liked him, so he wasn't the target of anything. One day we were all in a corridor waiting for a class to start and someone turned to him and asked, "Why are you so fat?" Without missing a beat, he replied with, "Because every time I f*** your mum, she gives me a biscuit." Comedy gold. You're so short the grass tickles your balls whenever you mow the lawn. Some random dude in a bar that has since shut down. You're the reason this country puts directions on shampoo. F*** you. Those are your last words. F*** you. Come on, you can do better. You're shit at dying. You know that. You were born out of your mother's ass because her was busy. Your mother for fish heads by the harbor to build a whorehouse for your sister. Traditional South African insults from Cape Town. My BFF told me I was gayer than jizz on a moustache. Probably the best "you're so gay" insult ever used in the history of Earth. There are approximately 1,010,300 words in the English language, but none of them can describe how much I'd like to hit you with a chair. I don't know what your problem is, but I'll bet it's really hard to pronounce. If I wanted to hear from an asshole, I would have farted. You've got to remember that these are just simple farmers. These are people of the land, the common clay of the New West. You know, morons. She's a Kmart communist. This past Thanksgiving, as in a couple of days ago, our friend group includes a couple that are just terrible together. The woman is a bit naggly and the guy is just a pompous asshole. You know the type. Lawyer, has a lot of money, pretentious, fakes an accent, just a tool. So this couple came late to the party, and when he walked in I saw the outfit. Wine purple pants and a knit cream turtleneck. Hair perfectly coiffed. I leaned over to my friend and said, "Remember this loser's outfit so we can roast him later." She looked at me and said, "You're wearing the same outfit." I looked down. Indeed, I was wearing wine purple pants, a knit cream sweater, and I had spent like 2 hours on my hair getting it perfect. My stomach dropped. And that's how I dabbed on myself. Good self-burn. I'd agree with you, but then we'd both be wrong. If I put your brain in a thimble, it would rattle around like a BB in a battleship. On Halloween you should dress as a virgin, that way nobody will recognize you. I hope your next shit is a hedgehog. Here comes Joe. Hide your smaller livestock and larger daughters. You uncooked chicken McNugget. You 6-piece chicken McNobody. Chicago 1978. Hot girl walking by and one knucklehead says, "Hey baby, why don't you sit on my face?" Her, "Why is your nose bigger than your dick?" Everyone fell out laughing. Best comeback ever. Threatening to show my boobs, "Don't you'll turn me gayer." My favorite is when my husband tried speaking French in a European game server and someone called him a half-baked baguette. We still laugh about that one. Ye Muppet. In 4th grade, I heard a kid call another kid a son of a prostitute. Dum dum bubblegum head ass. Dum dum to me in the bum. Everybody that loves you is wrong. I was once called a Dorito muncher. You are to comedy what Helen Keller would have been to competitive paintball. Not saying he's dumb or anything, just he has reached the bottom of the barrel and is digging industriously. Or, you are the full six-pack. You are just missing the plastic thingy that holds it all together. You look like the kid who's getting bullied in an anti-bullying commercial. You're about as stealthy as a skeleton whacking off into a biscuit tin. You hold the world record for most number of chromosomes. This team has enough chromosomes to create an extra player is one I was fond of in my CSGO days. A friend of mine called me a tight ass cause I didn't wanna buy an expensive concert ticket, then said I probably opened pickle jars with my butt cheeks. This guy looks like he licks his fingers after a high five. Shit cracked me up. At a country bar I saw two guys getting ready to fight, then one guy calls the other a rubber duck. The look of total confusion on the other guy's face was hilarious. You're such a loser that if there was a competition for biggest losers, you'd come in second because you're a loser. Third grade was a fun time. If you were any skinnier you'd slip through your own asshole and hang yourself. Also, Lemony Snicket, what a series of unfortunate events you turned out to be. The most left-swiped face on Tinder, from Veep. I've been called a slot machine, because I have a gap in my front teeth. Thought that was quite good. Also had banana fingers. Which is self-explanatory. I've also been told I have the nose of a reverse hand dryer. Thunderbird lips was a memorable one. Along with that was if the Simpsons and Thunderbirds had a child, it would be me. Big lips. Clear overbite. When I was a kid, it was muffin top old, but gold. Chunk from the Goonies and I was once told my nipples are so puffy. It's like I have been going to the gym to work on my nipple pack. All brilliant stuff really. My mental image of your appearance is quite confusing. I like this quote from Rick and Morty tonight: I don't care about your booze. I see what you applaud. My cousin once called someone a Japanese president. I was really confused. He was like 5 years old at the time. I was on a flight and the guy next to me is clearly nervous. Not like gripping the seat in front of him demanding scotch nervous, but like clearly not a huge fan of flying. The guy next to him makes some lame insensitive joke about "our relax buddy. Flying won't kill ya. The landing will though." And he just looks over and smiles and goes, "Ah yeah haha. Hey, did you know there are over 10,000 unemployed stand-up comedians in the metro NYC area alone?" And the goes back to his phone. I loved that man. You bruised pear. I once saw the comment about Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller went into politics because his hands are too weak to choke prostitutes. My two sisters are arguing over some random BS. I was in the room on my phone chilling and overhearing everything. Sis 1. Yeah, and guess what, you're still fat. When are you gonna work on that, huh? Sis 2 immediately after, yelling okay and asterisk 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 asterisk, your forehead's the size of Megamind and you can't do anything about that. When I tell you I was crying laughing so hard she was too ready that comeback up her sleeve. The two of us laughing basically ended the petty argument. This happened like a week ago but still laugh about it sometimes, like y'all literally Google search Megamind and visualize your sibling, it's hilarious. The best part of you ran down your mom's leg when she stood up. The jerk store called and they're running out of you. Surely you get a discount when your barber has Tourette's. You're a lot like crumbs in bed. You're really annoying and you make everyone uncomfortable. Your favorite kind of milk is crunchy. At a family dinner, all adults are tipsy. We're all talking about how I look exactly like my dad, but a lot more pale and bony. Next thing I hear is she looks like a cross between Michael Jackson and one of his victims from one of my cousins. Whole family lost their shit for a few minutes. One of the best I've seen used. I f your sister. I don't have a sister. You will in 9 months. Go commit scooter ankle asshole. I got a hate comment on one of my Insta posts, and my BFF was quick to respond with that carrot. You look like your face fell in the cheese dip back in 1956. Ye spooky midget. If you had half a brain, your ass would be lopsided. Yeast infected cum bubble. Lo fasum charge bah. It is Hungarian for, a horse's cock up your grandmother's ass. You, sir, are a reptile, some guy to a bus driver. I still love calling someone a sub-mud crab abomination. Never trust that man, his loyalty is a mile wide, but only an inch deep. Op is getting dragged harder than a doctor on a United Airlines flight. Someone said this on a Facebook post where Op was, you guessed it, being shredded. People liked it so much that there's now an entire group with that as the name. Owen, you incredibly stupid genius. Alejandro from TDI World Tour. Sometimes my life is like a pincushion and you're just another prick I gotta deal with. It would be cool if your IQ was a little more than your own shoe size. Your fart smells like condoms. A 6/8-year-old ran by screaming at the kid in front of him, calling him a rotten piece of sandpaper. It caught me by surprise and it was so random I fell on the ground laughing in the middle of a busy city with my mate. Yeah, we caught a lot of stares. Teacher, what is the problem you have with your classmate? Crush. There isn't enough ammunition. Your family tree looks like a recycle sign. Numbnuts, kills me every time. This one was said by Count Jacula in his video, Why Satanism? You know, you must be really good at sucking cock. Because what's coming out of your mouth right now is pure balls. My guy best friend and girl best friend were taking and he told her I had twice as many chances to get a boyfriend than her. Then she replied 2 times 0 equals 0. A teacher told these two guys to pick up a group of papers on the ground. The taller looks down to the shorter one and says, you do it. You're closer to the ground. My friends and I couldn't stop laughing that class. Saw 2 guys trying to talk to a couple girls on a night out. The guys were in a car and hanging out of the window and asked them to go ride with them. One of the girls replied, I'd rather shit in my hands and clap.